Now, if you are one that takes on the services of many of the telcos that we have in the country, MoMo is not something new. But understanding the multifaceted financial requirements of the customer base, a growing MoMo loans portfolio and savings marketplace has been introduced. The platform consolidates all savings and loan products associated with MTN MoMo, providing customers what's being described as unparalleled convenience, flexibility, and accessibility to financial credit options. It's called Wesotinge with MTN MoMo campaign, and according to the honchos at MTN, it's going to redefine the ways loans and savings are accessed. This discussion should be and will be illuminated by Jemima Kariuki, the Chief Products Officer at MTN MoMo. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And many thanks to you too, Charlotte Matsiko, the Portfolio Manager at the Digital Business Desk at NCBA Bank.
Thank you for having me.
Let me begin with Jemima. Talk to us about the new MoMo Loans platform.
Okay, so MTN MoMo, I think everyone knows, is our telco, our beloved telco. Has been in the market for more than 25 years.
Yep.
Our service, MoMo, is a mobile money service that allows you to do the usual, right? Sending money, receiving money, buying bundles, airtime, etc. What we did a couple of years ago is that we introduced loans. A loan service, in fact, the first of its kind in the market, with NCBA back then in 2016, called MoCash. But what we've also done in the last couple of years is introduce others, just so that we can have options for customers to choose from.
That's right.
And these loans also offer savings. So it's not just that you're coming to take a loan, but you're also coming to save money, which is important because the whole idea was to enhance and to push forward the financial inclusion agenda. So that's what we've done, and when we realized we have a bouquet of fantastic products that are actually already in use, we said let's put them all together, consolidate them, and take them to the market. So the whole campaign, Wesotinge with MTN MoMo, is about creating awareness of all these products. It's a product bouquet that is out there, and we want, you know, all Ugandans to take advantage of them.
All right. Looks like it could work and sort out something about the fact that you could get money from at least two of them, but apparently you should be able to maintain only one. I think it's down to the fact that people should be kept within the confines of ability to pay back.
Absolutely. So what we do not want is to create a scenario where you have too many loans that you cannot pay back.
That's right.
So what, you know, we've put in measures to ensure that you can take a loan and then pay back, and some loans are a day loan, others are 3 days, 7 days, pay back, take another. And what it does, and when you look at, you know, the society we live in, a lot of people have businesses. So it will come in, you get a bit of cash flow here, you're able to go to the market, buy your supplies, sell them, repay back the loan, take another one, so you end up growing, and that's what happens, right? If you have access to credit, a society grows, and that really is the reason why we're doing this.
Okay, you've said that you have been in collaboration with NCBA Bank. That means you guys have a very good working relationship, that you are still holding on to each other. Charlotte, what is NCBA Bank's thrust in this particular campaign this time around?
Thank you. So NCBA partnered with MTN to bring to you a product called MoCash. This is a loans and savings platform that is available to all MTN mobile money customers, where they're able to borrow and save using the platform. They can dial *165 *40#, or they can use the MoMo app and then they can onboard, and then they can choose whether they want to borrow or whether they want to save. They can borrow from 3,000 to 1 million Uganda shillings, depending on their limit, and they can save as low as 50 Uganda shillings.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I like the savings part. Could you just offer a little bit more insight? For example, if somebody is able to deposit, which ultimately makes up the bulk of the savings on that particular platform, what is the technique, or not technique as such, but modality in terms of how much you can, well, loan yourself back? I don't know whether it's for...
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, there are very many. There's a lot of technicality that goes to show, okay, how much you can borrow based on how much you've saved. But savings, you can actually save to, well, should I say infinity? You can save as much as possible, but we have an option where you can activate your auto savings in such a way that money can automatically move. You give us the authorization to move money from your mobile money wallet to your MoCash savings account, whereby, and you can withdraw, you can deposit at any time you want. It doesn't matter. But if you activate auto savings, it means you give us a time. You say either every month or every week or every day, you can pick this amount of money from my account, and we give you savings of interest of up to 5% per annum, depending on how much you've been saving.
Okay, interesting there. Let me just get back to Jemima on the savings marketplace in the country right now. The banking industry seems to be getting a bloody nose from the telcos, no doubt about that, but that's a conversation perhaps we can have another day. When it comes to the ability to reach the last mile, and this is in line with the thrust of financial inclusion. How best have you understood the needs of your customers with regard to this?
So you know, we don't compete, just to your first question, with banks, right?
I was only trying to pull your leg.
Yeah, it's a full partnership, because we know that, you know, the lending space is for the banks. We have the customers. So it's a full partnership. In fact, the synergies are great because they have the funding, we have the customers. And just to answer the previous question around savings, it's important to also note that your loan is not really pegged on your savings. So how we credit score you or give you this loan is actually based on how you use MTN MoMo. So if you use it to send money, if you use it to buy airtime, if you use it to cash in at an agent and cash out, those kind of transactions are really what we score you on and give you a loan. So it's not just pegged on what you've saved. So it's not that you're limited to the 100,000 that you've saved. You can actually get much more.
All right, to bring it to the typical Chris the layman, for example, if on a daily basis I have transactions on the MoMo cash, and I'm paying for either services or goods, and I'm in the region of on a daily basis around 450,000 Uganda shillings, and then on the savings account I have like 400,000, so to speak. At that moment, my score, does it offer me an opportunity to get $1 million or $2 million?
Yes, exactly. So you have to first be with us for a couple of months. You can't just start today and expect to borrow $1 million. But
all right.
But it does give you a chance to get a higher limit compared to someone who doesn't use the service.
That's right. Charlotte, there has been sufficient assessment, especially when it comes to adaptability for Ugandans to some of these digital financial technologies that are rolled out. As a bank, I know this is part of ability to be able to bring and simplify access to credit and finances. But what is your reading of the market, especially when it comes to adaptation of digital financial technologies?
All right. We've seen people adapt to this, especially for I think because it's very easy to actually dial the *165 hash. So that has actually helped us on board, especially people even as deep as the grassroots, because the beauty with MTN is that it's everywhere you go. It has given us an opportunity to reach as many customers as possible, especially the unbanked. There are very few customers that you would consider, or let's say there are very few people in Uganda that are actually banked, that have accounts. But at least now this gives an opportunity to people around Uganda to actually borrow, and they will not need to go and look for paper. They don't need paperwork. They don't need an account. They don't need to have collateral. It's really simple for them to just dial in and then borrow. So people have really adapted this very quickly, and we're hoping that this can continue now that we've even gotten on more partners.
That's right.
We are ready to share the market and continue to grow.
Let me stay with you, Charlotte, on this. It's concerning data protection. When you have too many platforms offering you an opportunity to access credit, there is a lot of goings on and about. for example, you're buying things from the market, you're paying for this particular service, you're accessing another, either you're doing transactions for a SACCO. There is too much information going around. You could be failing in one aspect, for example, at the SACCO, and this data could be used in a way to determine
whether you can
more like a score, whether you can get the amount of money that you want. The reason I'm saying this is because when people are accessing credit and they want 100,000 Uganda shillings, it's because they need 100,000 Uganda shillings. But the data available, especially on the platforms, indicates that, well, you guys can only give them 50,000 Uganda shillings, and that problem won't be solved. It will affect their ability to pay back. How convenient, you talked about convenience, and there is a bit of hardship there. How are you trying to ensure that is done away with?
I think there's a lot that needs to be done, especially on educating the masses, especially about the credit facilities.
That's right.
Because we are moving to a level where we're going to have there's a lot of data is going to be shared across the platforms, especially I think by the CRBs, where they'll be sharing information on how you behave.
That's right.
If you borrowed from a SACCO and you took very long to pay, if you borrowed from a particular bank and you took long to pay. So it's mainly about educating the masses and informing them that informing them of the importance of paying their loan back in time, because if you don't pay your loan back in time, it will be very difficult for another lender to actually give you credit, because you become a high-risk customer. And it means that if they are to give you, they'll either give you at a very high interest rate, or they'll give you very little value for what you actually wanted, which might not really meet your need at a time. So I think the main issue is to educate the masses on the importance of paying your loan in time.
That's right. Jemima, I'm going to have to transition into internet costs, especially as we've entered the final bend of this access and then the ability to get bundles here and there. Many Ugandans are a bit uncomfortable at the cost of internet by the telcos. MTN does roll out a plethora of bundles available, but the concerns are on these bundles wear out too quickly sometimes. What's your take on that?
Good one. So it's a costly infrastructure to maintain, to set up as well as maintain.
That's right.
But once the setup is completed, it really will settle, right? And we are constantly going back to the customer, trying to understand what type of bundles make sense for them. Also teaching them how to switch off, because sometimes you find someone leaving,
somebody forgets to log out,
almost 10-20 apps on, right, which will take up your bundle. So I think there's also a level of keeping yourself accountable, making sure that you switch off the apps that you're not using, so that you try and reduce the bundles that you consume, especially overnight, because I know a lot of people in the morning.
I now understand it. It's down to you should also log out of some of these social media apps, especially when you're going to sleep. In 30 seconds, Charlotte, can you do a wrap for us about this initiative and what it means for business going forward?
All right. Thank you. So for this initiative, we want to encourage customers to borrow, we want to encourage them to save. If you have an outstanding loan, please pay it back, because we have very many packages that are coming up. We're going to be giving out gifts, we're going to be doing, you'll be seeing the campaign, it will be ongoing for a particular period of time. So I want to encourage our customers to pay back to pay whatever loan you have right now, please pay it back and borrow, because you will be getting either a higher limit or you'll be getting gifts. There'll be adverts running along. You'll be seeing them on the various platforms. So I encourage us to borrow, to save as much as possible, and maintain a good portfolio. All
right, Charlotte Matsiko, Portfolio Manager, Digital Business at NCBA Bank. Many thanks for that, and many thanks to you too. Jemima Kariuki, Chief Products Officer, MTN MoMo, for what is no doubt a very enlightening opinion and information on the latest campaign. Wesotinge with MTN MoMo. That's it for this discussion. It's been a pleasure having your company today, the 25th of January. On behalf of my colleague Priscilla Regina Naloga and indeed the team behind the scenes that ensures it's a rewarding 2.5 hours right from 6:30. It's been a pleasure. Have yourselves a lovely day. We shall see you tomorrow, Friday, and you don't want to miss it.